Welcome to the JAMODI podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. What's one thing that you do differently if you could start over again today?
So I can tell you the one thing that stands out is this. I hate when people ask questions, what's the one thing?
Okay.
Because it's hard to know.
Take okay, I never
Okay, so
take
what
out.
I would,
What would
yeah.
you do differently, Coach? What would you do differently? There you go.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I would do differently. Number one, I would be more in tune with building relationships with the players. When I came up, it was more of a command and control.
Yeah.
Here's what we're doing, you do it. Right? Rather than finding out more about the players. That would be probably number one. Number two, I would try and become a better reader of my team. Right? Reading fatigue, reading lack of confidence, reading loss of motivation. You know, all the things that like Doc Rivers is so good at reading his players. So I'd probably be more intentional about that. I would probably, I didn't really break down roles with our guys. I more just put them in positions and assumed that they knew that what I wanted out of them. And I probably would get deeper in and also make sure I reminded, this is where Doc was really good. He reminded them throughout the year what their role was, right? But initially, he explained each player's role in front of all the other players. Oh. We got around the center jump circle, right? But he had a way of delivering it that even a role that didn't seem very important at all, with his words and how he said it, he can make it feel like it was important. But here was his reasoning for that. He wanted to make sure that the player knew their role, but that the other players knew that player's role. So now everyone on the team knew each other's role, and they could remind them occasionally, hey, that's not what you do for us to win. You got to get back to boom, right? Because sometimes the best messages are those that are sent from player to player rather than coach to player, especially as you get higher up the ladder.
Yeah.
In the pros, there's no question that oftentimes the player message to another player is more powerful than what a coach could say to that player. And the last thing is, I would I would have had our team spend more time around my family. Because, I used to think that coaching is just compartmentalized and you just keep it in the gym and all that sort of stuff. And what I found out through what coaches are doing nowadays, even like the guy who's leading the game now, right? Coach K.
Yeah.
Right. So I think a lot the players can see a different side, and they can also learn some things that sometimes I wouldn't have been good teaching. Right. So I guess off the top of my head, those would be the things that jump out. I think probably people were expecting what would I change in man-to-man offense and all that sort of stuff. I was good with that. But these were some things that I thought these were next level things that could have taken our team and our program to next level.
Well, Coach, you just nailed it. That whenever I hear the answer to that question, and you're right, it's never one thing, it's a lot of things. It's never about X's and O's. It's always about, nobody ever says, I wish I would have had better baseline out of bounds plays. That would have been the difference maker. It's all about the relationships, the way that they treated people, asking better questions. I love the idea of having family. I've just, God definitely blessed me with an amazing wife in Jana, and I definitely would love for my players to get to know her and be around her and see us interact with each other. That's a great nugget, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I wish I had done that. That was an opportunity not seized.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.